All right, welcome to Flex Friday. And we're in the garage gym today. We're going to be covering a movement called a one-leg squat on a box. So we're going to be carrying along some of the talk that we've been having on unilateral training. Okay, but now going from the upper body, we're going to progress down to the lower body. This is one of my favorite exercises to work with athletes, to work on a lot of unilateral strength in a squatting motion or a stepping motion. There's a lot that goes on here as far as foot and knee stability, and it's a great movement. So I'm going to show you today a couple ways you can kind of regress, progress, and try to incorporate this in working with your athletes. And it can be anyone using this, whether they're a great athlete that needs to be really challenged on it, or an athlete that really struggles unilaterally and needs to work on progressing up to a better point. So I'm going to first show you this movement on a very low box. This is about a 6-inch box. How I generally tell my athletes to perform this movement is start up top, make sure they're thinking about their hips as a bucket of water. We don't want to be spilling any water out of the sides of the buckets. We want to keep it nice and even. From here, I like to have my athletes reach their hands in front as they sink down. To make it a little easier, I can point my toes down. If I want to make it a little harder, I can pull my toes up and tap my heel to the ground. The hardest things for the athletes to grasp is do not let their leg rest and put weight on the ground or help them get up. They want to make that top leg do all the work. Now, obviously, if we want to progress this a little bit, if you have different varying boxes, I have a 6, 12, and 24 at the school, so I can kind of work up in increments. If you have a small box or a bench, that can be great as well. As you see here, as you go to the bench, there's going to be a lot more work to be done. Now, if athletes move on from that point, I'll have them go back to a toe tap on the way down. Just lightly brushing their toes on the ground. Once they get that pretty good, they'll pull the toes up and working from there. Now, I can progress a little higher with athletes. If I want to see them getting more of a parallel standpoint, I can keep raising the box, or I can even raise the box to a point to where their foot doesn't tap the ground. Now they're just doing a full single leg squat. And from that point, generally I'll have athletes, if they're pretty good and they can crush that, okay, now we'll hold a plate on their chest or a dumbbell or kettlebell or something of that nature, and now we can start progressing. So there's a lot of ways to challenge this or regress or progress. Just make sure that they're starting smart. Have them always start on the smaller one. If anything, I tell my athletes it can be great warm-up sets to make sure that they're moving how they want to. Thinking about zipping up tall, staying upright as they're sinking and tapping down. Another thing, which is a huge one, sometimes I see this very often in my female athletes, some of my males once in a while, more my females, when they go down, that knee starts to cave in. So make sure you're telling your athletes to think about getting that knee over the pinky toe. Thinking about driving out so they can use their glute medius, some of those muscles to help prioritize and strengthen the movement there. So there's a few ways to progress, regress, challenge the movement. That is a one-leg squat on a box.